Today is Monday, December 9th, 2024. Our first item of business is to call the meeting to order. We've done that. We now need to consider the November 25th, 2024 meeting minutes for approval.
Move approval of the November 25th meeting minutes.
All right. Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next up, we have presentation from now Christina Argo from Birmingham Department of Transportation on the Rebuild Alabama Act Annual Grant Program application for repaving of Lakeshore Parkway from West Oxmoor to Industrial Drive, Tom Martin Drive. Yep. Hi.
Good afternoon. I'm Christina Argo, and I serve as the Deputy Director of Strategic Projects for VDOT.
Hit your mic. You gotta hit the button until the red light comes on. There you go.
Okay. No, it's kind of loud. All right. Christina Argo, Strategic Projects, Deputy Director for the Department of Transportation. So yes, y'all are stuck with me this afternoon. Colin Alexander does a great job of managing these projects for us. And so I will just kind of hit the highlights of what the Rebuild Alabama annual grant is. It's the smaller of two grant programs, state-funded grant programs that came out of the Rebuild Alabama Act. A-Trip 2 is the other program that we also utilize funds from, and so it can be used on any local road. We are asking for $350,000 from the Rebuild Alabama grant fund account, and we will come up with $100,000 in local match, so $450,000 total. And the local match will come from one of the gas tax accounts where we receive funding from the tax on all gas in the state. So one of the reasons why we chose this portion of Lakeshore is because it's a road of regional significance. And so we find that when we pick roads and apply for money from the state, it's a good idea to pick roads that, have regional significance and are recognizable. This is a really large, wide road, and it's really expensive to repave. And so this is a good one for us to take a chunk off Lakeshore Drive to kind of to go ahead and repave it. We've also received feedback that the conditions are deteriorating, so this is a good, efficient use of our funds.
Right. So this is a little different from most of our transportation projects that involve federal funding. So there's no federal funding in this. It's only Alabama and the local match.
That's right.
So ALDOT and VDOT. Trying to get my map pulled up here, and so this is the portion of Lakeshore Parkway that's more sort of the industrial district.
That's right.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And this would fall into Councilor Alexander's district, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, West Oxmoor.
So from that major intersection at West Oxmoor Road, travel down, and then the next intersection is Tom Martin Drive.
Yeah. So it's not a gigantic segment, but it is a 4-lane highway. So.
That's right.
All right. And I believe this is near the location where we approved a project for, isn't there a pipe company that we did an incentive with, and they're going to be building a headquarters near that corner at West Oxmoor? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know it was in the vicinity at least, but there's a lot of industrial activity over there off of West Oxmoor. Haven't been over there in a minute, but, from what I can recall, it's been a long time since Lake Shore's been repaved.
It has. We don't often include roads like this in our local resurfacing packages just because it would eat up so much of the budget. So that's why we felt like this Rebuild Alabama grant was the appropriate source to go to start repaving sections of Lake Shore.
We, I mean, it's just a random question, but are any of the surrounding roads being repaved in coordination with this, or?
You know, I'd have to find out about that. I
Yeah.
could check on that for you.
Always, try to take advantage of paving contractors mobilizing their equipment and teams to, reduce costs for bigger segments.
Absolutely. I'll find out.
Yeah. Council Woods, do you have any questions? Yeah. So, as I recall, this is not a particularly big fund in terms of what's available to the city of Birmingham, so this would be our one shot for this cycle, right?
For 2025, that's correct.
Okay. And the major consideration being that it's a highway segment of regional significance.
And the other note that Colin provided was, this is really the only portion that is part of the city of Birmingham on Lakeshore Drive that's in poor condition. So it connects to other good conditions along Lakeshore Drive that are not in our jurisdiction, so.
Okay. Well, another one that I would put on your radar is Tallapoosa.
Okay.
And I don't know if on I guess that's 41st Street, that is south of 2059, that's going to be, serving the new Coca-Cola facility. But I know I guess Tallapoosa is Highway 79, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I would consider that one another one of regional significance. So, on your list of future options,
Okay. We will add it to the
yeah.
list.
Yeah. Okay, and so our portion of this is just $100,000.
That's right.
But this is just the grant submission.
That's right. We would find out about that. Look and see if I have that printed here. Usually they let us know, the last couple of years has been in September, which seems like a long time from now, but hopefully, summer, we would know.
Okay,
Could be sooner.
okay,
But yes, this is just approval to apply and for us to allocate $100,000 from our gas tax refund account as the match.
all right. Any additional questions, Council Woods?
No, I move that we send this to full council with a recommendation to approve.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, so
Thank you.
we'll send it to the council, and this is on the council agenda for tomorrow.
I believe that's right,
Yeah.
and budget and finance.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, next up, we have BJCTA, Ms. Brittany Thomas with us to talk about route changes.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I won't be before you long, but just want to just come give some updates about what we got coming up in January 2025. As you look in your presentation, we just kind of give just a kind of an overview of why we're making the changes that we're making. So we're continually, assessing our system and seeing what we can do to try to increase ridership, try to increase the residents' ability to be able to navigate the city without having to cause much out-of-direction travel. For example, if I, lived in the Winona area, and let's just say I want to get to Lawson State campus that's in Bessemer, I have to travel backwards a good distance just to be able to move forward. So those are some of the things that we want to try to mitigate if we can. I spoke with the president of Lawson State, and that was one of the issues that she was having with her students as far as being able to get to classes that are outside of the Birmingham campus of Lawson State and just trying to get to that Bessemer campus. Also in this particular area that's in District 7, we noticed that there's some grocery stores, but there's not a lot. They do have the Piggly Wiggly that's in Bernie Points, but with the microtransit zone that we want to introduce in January, that would give them access to the Midfield, Piggly Wiggly, as well as Bernie Points. I believe there was a new grocery store that was open in the city of Fairfield, so it would give them just extra access to grocery stores, fresh foods. And so we just wanted to do a hybrid, kind of like we did with the Route 20. Instead of just removing the routes, we want to introduce it first and let the routes continue to run with the microtransit zone. And however, if we see that we are able to consolidate or we're able to just convert certain parts of the routes to just microtransit to help feed into the system, then we will do that. But we didn't want to give a shock to the West End community about having to learn a new system in a short amount of time. Going forward, it has some information about the zones, so we didn't want to make it super big because that would require more vehicles as well as manpower as well as increased funding. So the size that we wanted to do was something a little smaller than the downtown zone, which I believe kind of sits at 19 square miles, as well as the east daytime zone, which is also around 19 square miles. So we tried 11, so we wanted to try that. And so what we want to encourage and educate our customers on is how to treat microtransit as a feeder. Also, for example, again, if I lived in the Powderly neighborhood, I can just get straight to a fixed route, such as the one if I wanted to go to the Bessemer Walmart, things like that. Or if I just want to get to the Crossplex so I can access the BRT. So that's what we want. We want to get those short distance travels because statistics shows that most of those residents in those areas are taking miles that are trips that are less than 4 miles. And microtransit is really great for that, for those just short trips that just get you where you need to, such as a transit stop or shelter to help you get to where you need to go. And so that's what we have coming for the western side, is that microtransit introduction into the system. Right now, the headways are pretty much the same. We're not able to change that because we're still trying to get our staffing up to where we can provide a more frequent service. But right now, we do have the staff necessary for the microtransit zone, so we're going to go ahead and roll that out next year in January. Route 20, what we've decided to do is just convert it to full microtransit. We presented a presentation maybe a couple of months back to show how the zone was actually growing. Route 20 is doing well, but we saw that the customers really enjoyed the microtransit because they were able to get out a little bit further. Roebuck Walmart was definitely one of the top stops. We saw high schoolers were starting to use it to get to Woodlawn High School. We saw that St. Vincent East ridership picked up as well, which is what we want microtransit to do. We want to be able to get the people what they need in a timely fashion, so where they're not monopolizing a lot of their day. And so with Route 20, we saw that we could remove the bus from that route, strictly microtransit, and allow the operator and the bus to come back into the fold, and we can find a place to reallocate that bus within the network. And so removing that is going to take away about 51 bus stops from the system, and it's going to give it more frequent service. The hours of operations was 5 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Is what it'll do, and the connectivity will not change. So they'll still have access to Route 17, 25, BRT, as well as Route 22 that shares with Tarrant. So they'll have access to that route as well. And so the next slide just has just some numbers about the growth of the microtransit zone and just kind of what we saw over time. And so the reason why we felt like the microtransit pilot was so successful was because we've only been doing it for 6 months. And the growth that it took in that short amount of time with the education and the partnership from VIA, we saw that it was a good opportunity to let that service continue, and we can just make better use of the fixed route bus. And that's all I have as far as updates. We do have 2 community meetings coming up. We have one on December 18th at 5 p.m. It's going to be at the Woodlawn Transit Center. That will just go over the information that was given today, in addition to other tools and resources for our customers to be able to utilize when navigating the system. And we also have another one scheduled for January 14th, also at 5 p.m., but it will be at the Intermodal. We do have flyers prepared, so I'll get with the communications department to see if we can send that out to you all so that you can attend. We hope that you do join us to give us any kind of feedback that you have, suggestions, as well as letting your constituents know that, you know, we are moving forward and we're trying to meet your needs.
Okay, great. Yeah, so you answered one question that I had. I know that Kingston route, we had made some adjustments several months ago, so that's been 6 months. Okay. I noticed that the hours of service, so for the new zone on the west side, it says the hours of operation are 5 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And for the Kingston route, it says 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Right, that was the fixed route service. So our microtransit service starts at 5, and so we wanted to keep it uniform for the west. So that will still be the same, but the 7 to 5 was the actual fixed route service. So it starts at 7 because we saw that microtransit could pick up the morning traffic, and so now that it can handle all day. So we're just removing that. So the fixed route will no longer run from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
But the microtransit starts at
5 a.m.
5 a.m. and runs till 9:30?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm really glad to see the new zone, and especially the fact that Fairfield and Midfield are participating in that. That's big. So I'm assuming that Jefferson, Winona, that looks like Route 3 would be the one that we would look at, you know, potentially eliminating if the microtransit service, you know, meets the needs of people on that route.
Yes, or consolidated to, because the 1 and the 3 kind of runs a little parallel to each other. And so we want to, if anything, we at least want to keep one fixed route option there, and then we could probably increase the frequency as well, because it does still come to downtown. And as well as you want to make sure that we have as much ADA accessible vehicles handy to be able to also meet the needs, because I know that there's a high senior population in that area. So we just kind of want to be on the side of caution and maybe consolidate if we could and increase frequency as compared to just total microtransit.
Right. And Homewood has already done microtransit, or are they still thinking about it?
So they are still thinking about it, but yet we are in the process of finalizing the pilot for them. So they have expressed interest. They just have some concerns that they want answered before they just go ahead and move forward with it. But they do pretty much have about, I'll say, 85% of what's needed to get it started is done. We just have to work on those remaining questions that they have before we fully execute.
Okay. And if I recall correctly, that proposed area for the Homewood microtransit zone would be more to the east, is that right?
Yeah, so they were looking at the ending point would be like West Oxmoor, would kind of be that end for Homewood, and just stretching it all the way to Brookwood Hospital. So it'll kind of be
Okay.
yeah, just
So it would encompass the Walmart and everything over there?
yeah.
Okay. Council Woods, got any questions?
No, I think y'all have done a good job of kind of rolling these out. Haven't really gotten a lot of negative pushback, and I think y'all have, what is this, third or fourth zone, I guess, route y'all have kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, no, I think this is good. I like having the on-demand service continue to expand, so I'm good on this one. I'd also move that we send this to full council with a recommendation to approve. Well, it's not really.
Yeah, I think this is more of an informational thing, but, you know, I appreciate your confidence.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
I'm supportive.
Yeah. Yeah, ever since we did the eastern zone, you know, some of the folks out in that Roebuck Parkway area, you know, seem to, I've heard less from them, you know, so they were, you know, the BRT didn't make it to them, and so they were looking for some help, but the eastern area microtransit zone seems to have addressed at least some of that concern.
Yeah.
You know, part of our recompete project is to create a microtransit zone in North Birmingham as well, right? Do we have a anticipated timeline on that?
At this time, we don't. So right now, we are in the planning phase, or more so the data collection phase. Because what we want to do, we want to go out to the community and ask them what do they want or what services they would like to see, just to see how we can help that. We want to talk about the issues with the trains. We've had several observations to where the train that sits in North Birmingham, I believe it's the train track right before you get into the Collegeville housing community, where those trains are just, they're extremely a long time, which is delaying our service. as well as the train tracks that sits on Finley, on that side to where our 40 runs. So we want to have those conversations and introduce, microtransit, let them know that that may be a viable solution to get them out of the neighborhoods, especially when those trains are on the tracks, since the microtransit can navigate a little bit easier because they're
Right.
smaller.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, fixed route is fixed route, so.
Right.
It's not like, the bus driver has the option of going
No
a different
U-turns.
direction.
Yeah, it'd be
right.
hard to make a U-turn. So that's what we kind of want to do first, and just see what would be the easiest way to do it, as far as with microtransit, in addition to also routes that we can consolidate in the area. We've heard of other points of interest, such as the DMV that sits further down Finley. We have a route that kind of goes close to it, but we do see that there's a need toward that side of North Birmingham that really wants to access that area, and the food market's there. And so we don't have any service to that, farmer's market that sits over there as
Right.
well. And I think that would be helpful for the constituents of North Birmingham to be able to access that area as well.
Yeah, okay, so again, everything's moving forward, we just don't have like a timeline yet.
Right.
Okay. All right, good deal. All right, well, we appreciate you bringing the information.
And no problem. Thank you guys for your time, as always.
All right, thank
right.
you.
No problem. Have a good one.
Under new and old business, Council Woods, we do have a vacancy on the BJCTA Board of Directors that we need to think about. So we've got a pool of applicants for that, and perhaps at the next committee meeting, we can, act on that. So, all right. I don't have anything else. I don't see anybody jumping up to get to the mic. So, I did ask about the Spectrum contract. What is it? Franchise agreement, yes. I was searching for the word. So Attorney King owes me an update on that. Yep. All right, there being no further business,
Move adjournment.
second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned, thank you.